Hey guys, today I'm going to be giving a tutorial on the basics of entry fragging. Now the first mistake I find a lot of new players make is that they expect the entry to just run in and get a double entry and take the site by himself every single time. Against anyone halfway decent, this just isn't possible, and it isn't the entry's job to do so. A really good entry fragger consistently gets their first frag and puts his team into a 4v4 or better. Your job as an entry is to get that first kill as cleanly as possible, or at the very least make sure it is traded. In doing so, you will help your team to quote-unquote trade positive, which essentially means that your team gets the better end of a trade series, putting them into a 4v3 with the bomb down, which 95% of the time is a round win. Today I'm going to be sharing some tips on how to maximize your chances of success and how to put your team in a round winning situation. So the first concept I want to go over is the idea of playing the inside lane. Basically what I mean by that is that when you're running up, let's say long for example, instead of swinging out here really wide, you play a little bit closer like this. So while going up the inner lane, you'll ideally have a teammate right here posted up waiting for the flashes, and right about when you get here, you should start angling up. So I'm running up long, my teammate is flashing for me like that, maybe one like that, and I start angling up here, and then I swing wide to give myself a more advantageous angle. So when you're first learning how to entry, you should pick one spot on each map that you feel most comfortable with, and just kind of learn how to play that spot exclusively for a little bit. So Inferno B, I would come up here, I would molly this car, and I come up and I swing this wide to about here. Once I see that there's no op there, or I kill the op there, I would start peeking that, and I'd start peeking that, and I'd start right about close, or just making sure all these spots are clear. That way we can start setting up for a side take. So once you have that clear, and that smoke is gone, you can just toss the smoke like that, and smoke like that.
I am throwing smoke.
And then if you're feeling really fancy, you can do this moment where you line up right here, or right there in the jump throw, and that lands right here. You just want to learn all the different angles. So like coming out here, the way I did it was, I would come up here and my teammate would hold right for me. So I could just come out and swing wide on this guy, and then angle up, and start taking all these 1v1s. Generally, you don't want to cross, at the stairs, because if there's someone right there, they're just going to spam you. It's kind of a free kill. So if you come up here, you can play this headshot angle for a little bit, kind of force them to play back in the sight. And ideally, you'll have like two teammates with you, so one of them can be mollying that, and the other can be holding, right there while you're moving up and clearing right here. Just moving up. Now moving it forward, you could try practicing A. So you wait out the smoke, and ideally you'll have your team taking this area right here. Moving forward, you can start trying to work on A once you feel comfortable with B. And you'll wait out that smoke, you'll have your team start taking the apps control, and once the smoke is gone, you can just start setting up for like a standard take. So if you want the smoke left mid, you can come right here, put your crosshair right there,
throw in smoke,
cross, and then you can do a flash like that.
I am throwing a flashbang.
Works pretty well.
Flashbang.
The flash is the guys on the left. And you can come up here if you want to, you can molly that, or you can just keep fighting right there and right there. Generally at this point they won't be there, but you'll still want to clear it just to be safe. When coming up lane, ideally you want to smoke right up there, right up there, and as an entry right here, you just need to be holding W. And ideally you have one right there as well. There, so you can't get killed from Bono. So you come up here and you swing wide, and you just run through. If you play too afraid right here, you're just going to get counter flashed and counter naded, and the rotation's going to happen, and the entire take's just going to be over before anything even happens. But right here, you're just running up and you're dragging. That's where good crosshair placement, good fundamentals come in, and you just got to hit the shot, or at least get it traded. I'm going to go over a few other spots. On cast, generally I like to work B if I'm playing by myself. So I'll come up here, and I'll make sure that they're not going to push through a flash, or through the smoke, or whatever. Once they flash like that, move up, clear an angle like that. Make sure that there's no one right there or close. And then from there on, I have to toss that smoke. Usually get a little closer. Follow it up with that flash. Just run under and make sure you clear that. And usually if there's someone in vent, they're holding an angle like this. So they're going to get blind. And if you swing up properly, you'll just angle up on them and get a free kill. From there, this is where it gets a little bit trickier. This is where good team play comes in. Maybe you'll hear your teammate smoke right there, and you'll have one up there. And you can have this first guy swing really wide, stay off the shot, and the second guy follow up and get the kill. So like let's say I swing out here, there's a guy right there shooting you from M4, He misses, I have 50 health, and then my teammate swings out and headshots him. It's a very effective round, and even though I didn't get a kill, I did my job as the entry fragger. From there on, I would run up and clear sight. You don't usually want to cross right here, because right here you're exposed to so many different angles. Generally, you'll have this smoke down, and you swing wide and you play this headshot angle. Because if they're in sight, it's a really tough shot for them to hit this. Whereas if you run up the ramp, you can just swing around cover. And ideally, if that's not smoked off, your teammate would be helping you. So it's just a really easy round for the CTs. So if you swing up and then use the concept of playing the inner lane and angling up as you get closer, you'll have really good success there. Going over mid, a good spot for an entry to be could be mid. I like to come up here and I'll peek and go like this and hold it for a second. They're on. Maybe I'll molly close, maybe I'll nade it. I think there might be someone there. I'll my teammate flashed and then we'll swing out and I'll peek a little bit wide to catch out that guy. There's no one there. Come up here, and at this point my teammate should be out mid, and I'm getting them like right here. Then I'm focusing on this guy. From there on, you don't have to go anywhere. You can just take that mid control, make it a little bit harder for them to hold sights, and maybe you get a pick on A. This guy pushes up. You get a 1-for-1 trade. All of a sudden, there's one guy in sight, one guy CT, another guy back CT, and then like one toward B. So you can toss this truck smoke. Isolate this one guy, just trade it out, and just like that you're going to 3v3 bomb down. You should win that round about 80% of the time. Next I want to talk about the concept of playing based off spawns. One very valuable thing, especially against kind of unorganized, maybe a pug or a matchmaking game or whatever, is playing off spawns. So let's say I get this spawn, we have money, they don't have crazy money, they can't just spam me with an auto sniper. I'm going to come out here, and I'm going to tell my team to come with me, but go and dry, so don't toss a flash or a smoke or anything. And maybe I'll toss this flash, and then just swing out wide. And it's really easy, because if you get that spawn, they're not going to be set up there or there yet, usually, unless they get a really good spawn. So you can just swing out, and like half the time you can just catch a guy off guard. And while he's running the sight, knife out, you can just boop, headshot, and it's easy. From there on, I come out here, and there should be no one right here if you play based off spawn, ever. So you can tell your team to hold under palace while you're running up. You can toss that smoke. Like if it's a pug, I'd probably just run through that smoke. Go straight to jungle and hold the jungle rotation. Because they're just getting set up in B when you run out and headshot the two guys on A. So it's really tough for them, because there's no proper rotations coming. The thing about an execute on A is that it's actually really easy to play against. So going in dry like that sometimes works. It's just situational. So again, toss like a flash like that, run out, and then headshots. Next I'd like to talk about entering in a more, I guess, methodical environment. So you can just do like a standard A execute, which is where you come right here, line up right there, and you line up right there.
I'm throwing smoke.
It smokes off the stairs. Then you can have one right here. You line up with that, and then you just jump throw.
Smoke.
That smokes off spawn. Can't show you one, but if you go a little more to the right, one's like right there. I usually toss that one. And then you go right here, and this is for jungle. And this is just like a standard A execute. To reiterate, you have one right there, one right there, and one right here. So when you're running out, it looks a little bit like this. And something's up, so sometimes put a smoke down right here. Between those two. You do that one by going right here. Starting up with that. And going up from there to there. Like that. This is kind of like a European Keatstars take. Occasionally you'll have someone molly that. Usually the first guy, he comes in and he swings all of these angles really wide. And that's why I like to use this flash.
I'm throwing a flashbang.
Because it's really easy to get someone right there. And my team actually has smoke go right here as well. So you kind of have this wall.
I'm throwing smoke.
So you get one like that. The first three guys, they're swinging wide like this, running up, taking that jungle control, while the other two are coming up and they're clearing right here, and the palace guy is just kind of peeking out and making sure that there's one like right there. So it's just an easy kill for him. Going over mid, you can just do like a standard jump through mid smoke. I don't know if this works well on 64 tick, I know it works on 128. This is where you go right there, you line up with right here and jump and throw. Pops right there. There's a little bit of a gap, but you can usually span it. It's just an easy kill if there is someone there. You can also maybe pair this up with a connector smoke if you want to try to split B.
I'm throwing
So you could have
smoke.
like 3 or 4 guys go mid and then one go halls the bomb. And a plug or whatever, you can toss that smoke or you can
I'm
toss the
throwing
smoke.
smoke.
Half the time, if I think I can catch him off guard, I'm just gonna run through this and headshot with that. It's really good if you also pair this up with a flash like this.
I'm throwing a flashbang.
Or maybe like that, but like
Throwing a
like that.
flashbang.
So you can run out and headshot stuff, it's really easy. If you have a mid spawn and you know that they probably don't play for an op, you could just toss smoke like this.
Smoke.
And then run up connector. And then usually, like, if you just rush like that, there will be a guy right there, and because of poor comms and the pug or matchmaking or whatever, the mid guy's not going to call that he hears anything. It's just the way it works. It's just a free kill. So once you get that guy, usually this guy's going to peek up, and then it's an easy headshot. And assuming you get those two, I mean, you'll win that round like 90% of the time. It's really hard to lose that. I'm going to go over one more thing. Entering on a pistol, I feel like the most important thing for an entry to do is to not get one tapped. So I'm running B. Maybe my team is tossing those flashes, center god flashes. I'm gonna be jumping across everywhere. I'm basically just like bunny hopping in the site. Obviously, I'm not like full jumping like that, but like you can't get one tapped. All you have to do is just jump across and get hard to hit. With online CS, it's very, very difficult to hit someone who's jumping like that. I'm not saying it doesn't happen sometimes, but it's very, very hard to hit. So I'm gonna run out, and then he misses the shot on me. And if he misses that first one tap, he's gonna get overwhelmed. That's just the way it works. So if they're playing right here, they're just like a standard passive B, we're gonna win that round like 90% of the time, unless they hit crazy shots. So I'll get that guy, and then my 3 teammates rush this guy and get him. We're in the 4v3. Depends on what I'm feeling. If I get that guy really quick, I'm gonna push in here and just start fragging. It's easy. If I'm playing against a real team or anyone who's halfway decent, you just do like a crossfire like this. So you have one guy right here, maybe one guy right there, and they bait and switch where this guy is peeking out. And this guy is right here, just like waiting to get some free kill. Next up on the list is DE Overpass. One of my favorites. I think it's a really easy map to solo carry on.
Grenade.
So going over spots, generally your fraggers are going to be going mid. So the way we did it last season was we would have one guy sit right here and just wait for this push. One guy drop stairs and work it by himself at whatever pace he felt like. And then while we were doing that, we would have one guy just kind of holding long. Oops. From like right here. Well, we worked up right here. So I'd be like flashing over. The entry could just swing wide. And if they're right there, it's an easy kill. If they're right there, it's an easy kill. Stairs, it's a little bit trickier, but it's easier to trade. If they're playing counter passive stairs, we would double mid it. And I mean, we would usually do like 80 plus damage if not get the kill. So he's pretty much done. Going on from there, generally your fragger is going to go and peek this. The best way to think of a fragger is he is the one that you bait, so you can get trade frags. If he gets a kill, it's just a bonus. But like, all he has to do is make it so you're in a 4v4 with 100 health. If he did that, he did his job every single time. I don't care what anyone says, that's the right way to play this game. So you can have your fraggers go long, or you can go just up short by the bathroom if you feel like. And generally you'll want to play an angle like this and then jump up, and then you'll want like a smoke right there.
Smoke.
Like a tank smoke.
Smoke.
And I've seen some teams do stuff like that instead, or put like a wall right there. I'm not a big fan of that because they can just hide behind it and it's a lot easier to retake. So you'll have your fraggers come up right here, and they'll jump up. And usually you'll want like one guy holding for every entry that is actually running up. So you'll clear that, plant the bomb, and then it's just an easy round. Toward B, the way I like to do it is I do it based on spawns. If I get the forward spawn, let me toss in that flash, and you can actually have your support players sitting like right here, spamming this, I think. And that spins over the short. So if they're trying to take that early short control, it kind of punishes them, makes it an easier kill for you, if it doesn't outright kill them. So I'll go like that, toss a pre-flash like that while running, and knife out people right here and just start swinging wide. If you play close like this, it's actually a really easy shot for them. If you swing wide, especially with the teammate right here, it's very, very hard, and they usually just fall. Generally, I find it best to like molly out those spots. There was one we did, I think it was like right here. Maybe it was right... Where did we look? Yep. And then with molly out the barrels. So for like a standard B take, you could have like 3 guys right here, 2 going up short. they're gonna be tossing the flashes, they're gonna be boosting over, going for a pick right here, maybe. I think we mollied that and we mollied right here. Worked pretty well. And there was a smoke that we tossed from spawn. This was done kind of fast. Where you'd come up right here, hook up, and then just kind of release it. It's just easy. Yeah, that was the connecting one. So we had one go right there as well. Generally, when I'm entering B, assuming that this isn't smoked off or anything, I'll just come up here. I won't smoke right there. Right here. Right here. If you're the pug or matchmaking or whatever and you don't have the luxury of having that structure and having that smokestone, usually you just want to kind of fly out. Because if you play slow, they're just going to get time and it's going to be easy for them. But if you just kind of rush them, it's easier to catch them off guard and just get easy kills. Generally, I would at least want to have like a smoke right here, even if I'm just like solo or whatever. That way you don't just get fucking offed. So you can come up here and then kind of clear the pit one way a little bit. Clear graffiti, clear bottom CT, and then make sure that there's no one hiding like this at the barrels, because that's fucking gay when someone does that. This is one of my favorite maps to pug. I feel like it's really easy to abuse rotations. Generally, the place I work when I'm pugging is I'll come through drop and also something like that. Maybe nail them. I'm just trying to punish them and make them afraid. I don't want them to be playing right there, and I don't want them to be playing right there. That is an easy angle for me because I can just swing my angle up on them and it's a hard shot thing. This is also pretty easy because you can just come over here and then just like pre-fire a little bit. Assuming I get that one frag, I'm going to push out and I'm either going to go to useless, that's what my team called this room right here, and start getting these guys, or I'm going to push out to the window and I'm just going to kind of hold the rotation to do some really easy nervy kills. It's just how confident I am in my team. If my team is able to consistently go and get those guys, I'm going to start holding for the rotation because I feel like that's the easiest way for me to frag. I'm going A. I'm just pre-flashing everything because there's so many spots where an offer can just hide. So I feel like if you're going A, it's better to do like a 4-1 type setup where you can have like one guy just like slowly working his way up here and just getting like a lurk or like a upper entry frag where like you're kind of catching them off guard instead of taking those hard aim 1v1s. I guess is one way to look at it. So he'd come up here and he would just slowly start getting them. So like let's say you heard the guy's stairs and he held this for a second and you didn't hear anything. You could just come up here and get like a really easy kill, kind of like a backstab. I wouldn't really call it a lurk because this isn't really like a true lurk, but one way to look at entering is that in a real team setting you're going to have 2 entries, and generally they're not going to be at the same site as each other. They like to generally split them up, so it's like a reverse entry type role. I feel like that works really well on this map. Next up is Season. I really enjoy Season because I'm a pure rifler, and I feel like Season offers a lot of variety in terms of what you can do as a rifler. Generally, I'm going to come up here, and a lot of teams will just smoke deep like that, or even like plug teams like that. You can just nail them, and they come up here and spin this for like a 3 second. And some guys will try to toss the smoke right here. Usually I can beat it. If I can, I just come up here and pre-fire that. There's almost always someone there, at least for the first few gun rounds. After that, I'll clear this, make sure that they're not doing like an eco head stack or something. Going from there, jump on this rail, start like shoulder peeking out, trying to bait some shots out. And just hold this for a second. If I see something, I'll kill it. If not, I just start angling up and I start worrying about this, then I worry about that, and then I just start playing the pillars and then getting this guy. And if I don't see anything, generally I'll have one of the guys lower at the bottom and they'll kill this guy or I'll kill this guy. And at that point I just rush their spawn, and usually I get a guy right about here that's rotating. So I'll frag him and hold it like that, or like loop back around and go to the jail. I feel like that works really well. So generally, I will be coming up this way, and I'll be holding shift right about here until I get to right about here. And I'll swing this really wide, because if there is someone right here, holding that angle, it's actually a really easy shot if you just kind of like slow peek it, but like if you swing wide, they're not going to hit that 9 times out of 10. So I'll wait out the smoke, start clearing my close, start peeking an angle like that, start peeking that, and then just like running out. From there, just a couple good flashes, like that, or whatever, get you in the site pretty effectively.